Hello, so thank you for the opportunity being a part of this project. I will introduce our finding from the work group 3 about tiers of the support, which is quietly connected also with the partnership and working together in the network, so it's quite a big topic, also connected to other work groups. What I'm going to talk about is mostly defining what we have about how to deliver strategy for supporting creative entrepreneurs in Bratislava. In Bratislava, the situation it's quite different maybe than in the other countries, because municipality actually didn't support any creative incubators or any incubators at all. In Bratislava, we have at the moment incubators run by the university and 2 or 3, let's say, for-profit co-working spaces such as the Hub or the Spot or the Connect. So when we start talking together, it started with the debates if it's about the incubator or we have to do something bigger than the incubator. And one of the results was that we have to focus on creating whole ecosystems. So not only focus on the startups which are going to start the services, but start much more earlier in the schools, create education within the schools in the secondary, focus on the pre-incubation stage before they come to startup, and then also think about existing businesses, mostly about small and medium businesses, which they need to get new skills, working with the new technology or improve their business model or innovate, so thinking more about accelerators, etc. And then also part about SME internationalization, etc. So we have to think about creating complex ecosystems, not only startups. One of the key founding what we have was mostly that we have to work together. It's not only about the incubator. One of the topic was also, what is the incubator? Is it the physical building or is it the programs running within this? So we come to the conclusion that the building we call the creative centers or the hubs, and the incubators is mostly the program which is running there. And when we start talking about how to deliver all of these kind of activities and comprehensive support to small and medium businesses, we quite immediately understand that we have to work together with university to deliver educations, so it cannot be done just by the incubator unit. We have to use also the public money or public support. Maybe it can be done by commercial way, just purely, and exactly we saw, for example, in the Alex factory that there is models how incubators or co-working space can be run without public funding. But because this is the support of the mostly young entrepreneurs and startup, we think that the public sector should be also included. And what's really important is also include the society and the people, and definitely creative people. When we was talking about how to do it and how to start, really, we was mostly talking about how to apply the business principle to management of the incubator. And one of the project dilemma which was raised during, I think it was metering conference, was dilemma if it's about the sustainability of incubator or is it about the services we deliver to incubates. Because it's very easy to do the sustainable model for incubators if you just do the rental. If you get the premises from the municipality, let's say for free, use easy money for the building, the incubator can be sustainable. And for me, one of the best practices is the Kapeli in Helsinki, which is formerly larger Nokia factory, about 50,000 square meters, where it's operating without any public money, but they focus mostly on the rental of the premises. So this is the business model, and we have to keep the balance between the revenues and cost. Think about who are our customers and what we are providing to them as a service, and who are the partners we have to work together. So I think that this business model canvas really good illustrate how you have to think about the incubator. Now we're coming to the area of support. What's the support, what we have to deliver to the small companies or creative startups? And we split it into 6 areas, 6 pillars of the creative ecosystem, and it's mostly aligned also with the availability of funding or different topic or different stakeholders within each of these pillars. For example, in talent and skill development, it's clearly it's about education. So the key stakeholders should be the universities, schools, etc. We discussed the many good practices. I'm not going to read it all within the 10 minutes. What we find out very interesting within the InCompass project. We want to adopt some of these practices and implement it in our plan. Within this education or talent and skill development, what we think what is really important to create something like the competence center. This is pictures from the UK National Skill Academy focus on IT, but now they merge together and create some the CC skills. What is really good to have the list of the knowledge and somehow measure, and this is done by self-assessment, so somebody log in into web page and click in this area or of knowledge, my level is on level 3 or 4, and this can help you to find appropriate learning, which is down there for you, or you can measure on the policy level if general knowledge in the society or creative entrepreneurs grow up. So for example, you can see how many of people can do some marketing strategy or use some kind of technology such as 3D printing, etc. Within the second part or second pillar about the business support and financing, again we was looking at the different models, how incubators we visit during the InCompass supporting creative entrepreneurs. This was the very interesting one. And based on this, we designed some incubation program, which is going to run in Bratislava. It will be probably 4 months or long program. There will be a pre-incubation phase during the schools, and then up to 2 years, the members of the incubation program will get discounted prices for the rental, extra services, and the use of the technology. This incubation program is designed to go step by step to all of the elements of the successful business model. And we find the mostly important is in part of the business model is assessing the competitors and setting up the pricing. We think that this is really the critical for our people. And then it's really important to discuss it with the real customers and launch it to the market. So the third pillar is about the infrastructure. Again, we identify some best practices. There is a lot of incubators, mostly focused on ICT or web designers. They call themselves also creative. It should be, definitely. But for starting an IT business or IT startup, you don't need almost nothing. You are fine if you have a notebook and have a coffee somewhere. But if you want to start a filming studio, advertising agency or something else, you need to rent a big space for having a studio. You need to buy a specific infrastructure, and you have to work on it. So I think that really creative industries need different kind of the infrastructure. And when designing this type of infrastructure, it's really important to focus on whole value chain. So think about how the creative goods are produced, how they start. For example, I have an example of the fashion. It was in the printing of the textiles. It can be very expensive machines, and it can help small fashion designers to design their own fabrics, not the low-cost one on the synthetic materials, but on the silk or some better fabrics. And it can help them to start producing not only tailor-made dresses, but also do serial production and sell. So this is some pictures showing about the 3D scanners. We realized that some of the hot topics today are like 3D printing or 3D scanning, but mostly people don't really understand what is it and how it can be used. For me, the 3D printing is really useless. I prefer mostly CNC machines to produce something from the wood or metal, not only the plastic one, whatever you want to do. And this is the example for 3D scanning, that there is really several different types of the scanners. They can be used for different purposes. And for example, for wood reconstruction, you can use the 3D scanner down on the left. You can just scan some old wooden table, and then you can use the CNC CNC mill, and it can create another part from the wood, very similar one. So it can be really attractive also for the crafts, for different type of the creative industries. So fourth pillar is about the marketing and commercialization and supporting of the export. As we heard already, there is low awareness about the possibilities, what they can do. There is low awareness about really what the creative industries really are, how they can grow, how they can show up. So what we have to do is promote industry and topic and support as a general, but we also have to showcase our local actors, show that we really have some creative people that can be successful even from Slovakia, outside of the world. I don't know if you ever see, we have right now very good model of flying car presented in Vienna on the Pioneers Festival. It takes quite a lot of coverage also in international media. We have very good one video. If there will be time, we can play it later also with this flying car and interviews. So fifth part is about working in partnership. Definitely the setting up the cluster is the core one, but we also want to create link these clusters within the networks on the local level, national level, and also international. The sixth pillar is about the supporting of the research and innovation. Definitely what we have to do is better evaluate the impact and better understand of the nature of the creative industries. We have some project we want to do during this new programming period about the unbundling creative industry and better understanding of each sector in general and see how they grow to the next step. And for this cooperation, we have to really work together with university and another research institution. The research is mostly about the measuring this data, which I already mentioned. And for the next year, we're planning quite a big research because at the moment we have 3 or 4 different studies, each so really different numbers about the employment. And we really don't know how creative this job really is. And is it a good job or bad? How added value to create? So this is, I think, the big topic for all of Europe. But what's good, we have approved budget and really set up the next steps how to get good numbers. And from all of these projects within the Bratislava, what's happening, we're thinking about the sustainability of the project, and one of the very good results is that we are going to set up the creative cluster because our regional implementation group was quite successful. People, all the stakeholders was interested in these debates. So right now we are creating a business plan for the cluster, and it will be set up probably during the next year. We are transferring the things we have in the regional implementation plan into other documents. Right now we are preparing a strategy from the, it's called integrated regional strategy, and there will be financing from structural funds ERDF. So in Bratislava there will be approximately 40 million euro available for setting up the creative center and the incubators. And based on the definition of the program, we have eligible costs from the talent and skill development, infrastructure, marketing and support, and the partnership. So 4 of the 6 pillars we have already covered. So we find the money, we're finishing the plan, working with the stakeholders. I want to set up the cluster as the legal body that can drive the implementation of all of this plan. So I put some quote on the end. What we are trying to do is really remove all of the overlaps because there's so many activities within the creative industry also in Slovakia, but they're mostly handling with similar challenges. We had 5 or 6 different mapping studies, but mostly all of them are useless, sorry. It will be better if the stakeholders join together, discuss it together, work together. It can be much more better. And I think that we are quite successful, and setting up the cluster is one of the results that looks that all of the stakeholders are supporting to this idea, and they believe in this topic and they want to move it forward. So,
Thank you.
what's that?
Vladimir, thank you.